Ooh, yeah. Oh, you felt a lot bigger than that when you bit, guy. Felt a lot bigger than that. Hey, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The absolute hottest part of the day will be in the next hour, and it's up really close to 100 degrees. As a matter of fact, the heat index is well over 100 degrees. It's summertime. Summertime means hot weather. It means humid weather. We've got them both. And it means laid back summertime fishing. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We got a little lucky craw on there, rigged Texas style. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But when I'm talking about laid back, I'm talking about sitting back in the chair. I caught that fish out in 15 foot of water, by the way. First thing you want to do when you catch a bass, look down at your locator, see exactly where you are, how deep you are. There's another one. Golly, I better set my spot lock. I'm gonna catch two. I didn't catch that one anywhere near where that other one was. Looky there. Lucky craw strikes again. I'm gonna stop right here, obviously, because that's a better fish. Oh yeah, that's a good fish. He hit it before it ever hit the bottom, actually. I felt him hit it and I could never feel him. Yeah, he swallowed it, I suppose. Come here, baby. Getting in this boat, yeah. Nice fish. Ooh, come here, come here, come here, come here, come here. Here. Hold still. Golly, you did swallow it. Let's see where you got it, guy. Get a hold of that with some needles and be able to turn that out, I think, without hurting you. Exactly what I want to do. Probably going to ruin my worm, but not worried about the worm. I'm worried about my bass. Oh, yeah, it's a nice fish. You can catch fish in the hot summertime on a Texas rig just about anywhere in the south, anywhere in the north. It doesn't really matter where you are. A Texas rig worm, I'm bite a little bit of that off, make that just a little bit shorter because the head of that got messed up. Lucky craw's got salt in it. It tastes really, really good. That salt makes a big difference, I'm telling you. It makes a big difference. I've always been a believer in salt ever since we started. Used to have a bait called the salt craw. I don't know if they still make them. It's a little bit like that. That's a totally different bait because it's got those flared pinchers on it. But I'm gonna just let this sit here on spot lock for a minute and kind of fish around the boat. Golly, holy smokes. I swear, I hadn't been fishing 15 minutes. Before I had a bite, and then I ended up catching 3 in a row. I mean, 3 in a row. That's why you want a spot lock on your motor right there. Hey, that's close enough to count, isn't it? Can I count that one? Can I count that one, guys and girls, huh? Sure I can. I'm counting. I about got my money's worth out of that lucky craw, didn't I? These baits are made by Lucky Strike, and it's all of our new worms, and I want to show you. That's exactly where I've caught 2 in a row right there in that same spot. And I'm throwing out there in grass. Golly, isn't this amazing? I don't know as they're getting smaller. Every one of them's got smaller. This one's a lot smaller. Golly. He thinks he's big. Golly, look at that one that's with him. There's one that's with him when he's 4 pounds. Go ahead and sacrifice that little one. Golly, that 4-pounder needs to get back over where this little one was. Oh, I sacrificed my lucky craw. That's probably what happens. That craw fell out. And while I got, oh, that's a beaver. That's not a craw right there. I'm gonna go ahead and, no, I'm not, yeah. I'm gonna tell you what, I got a white lucky craw. I'm not really a whole lot into fishing a white craw, but now there's times when a white craw in the summertime really, really works well. It's shaped like a craw, but obviously it's the color of a shad, and I guess that's why it works so good. I want to show you something that we've done with all of our new, or not all of them, but a lot of the new Lucky Strike baits is it's what they've done with the Out here, you see this right here? See, these are all flared out here on the end, and it just makes a huge difference on those tails. That is a beautiful little bait. All right, made half a dozen throws, never got a bite. Let's go back to black and blue. If I get a bite on that thing first cast, I'm gonna quit and go home. Yeah, right. Whoa, I'm definitely, I come off. Oh my gosh, that was a good one. Well, that tells you that they're hitting black and blue and not white. Hey, I don't know if that's not the same fish. That's a lot smaller fish than what I had. I had a big one on. I'm telling you, a big one. I just dropped it back down and kept fishing it in. Got that one. So actually, it's a pretty good fish. That other one was a big fish. That was a really good fish. I thought that one was pretty big too, but he's just had a lot of grass on him. Come here, guy. Come in this boat with me. Come in here. Had a lot of grass. When I first saw him, I thought he was that long. Hold still, hold still, hold still. I've caught 5 fish. I've caught 5 fish. That's a nice fish right there. I've caught 5 fish sitting on my spot lock. Well, you can see, obviously, what we're fishing. A lot of grass. This grass comes up pretty high. It's kind of easy to get your worm and stuff through because it's just kind of, it just looks like seaweed type grass. I don't even know what kind of grass that is. Some of y'all biologists out there probably know. I'm just a country fisherman. I don't know. I know what. I'm liking it though. It's pretty easy to fish. It's an easy grass to fish. If you get up there when the water's down low, it gets all in your trolling motor and stuff. Wraps around your blade. Kind of bad from that standpoint. Even the weedless braids that we've got on our trolling motors. Man, I'm telling you, I don't know how many fish are out there in that little spot. That is a dynamite. That's the kind of spot you need to find to fish a tournament right there. Jeez. That one I had hung there a second ago was big. I'm telling you, I was just holding on. He's bending the rod. I wasn't even winding. A little one. Come here, little guy. Well, I made a lot of casts before I caught this one after that 4 in a row. Oh, looky here what this is. Looky here what this is. It's not a little one. It's a big one. It's just a different species. You know, I missed a couple strikes out there on that lucky craw, and that's probably what they were. It's crappie. Looky there at that big old crappie. He's probably thinking, oh, I'm going to turn into fillets. Got him. Got him. Don't you dare show me where you are, you sucker. I'll catch you. I might lose him in all that grass. He's in a lot of grass. I don't know if he's still on there or not. Oh, good lands. The one I heard hit over there was bigger than that. I'm telling you, the one I heard hit over there was bigger than that. I heard one hit over on that bank. Sounded like a good one. That one was pretty long. The last part of him was pretty skinny. Oh, ow, you hurt my hand. Golly. Getting my boat all dirty. You got it down deep too, you sorry son of a gun. I hate it when they get it that deep. I set the hook pretty quick. I'd rather lose them. He swam at the boat or something. He's not very big. I thought I missed him there for a while. I felt him, and then he seemed like he was gone. Now he's back. And there he is. Whee, whee. Gotcha. That little flop they do there just tears my hands up. I think my hands are not as tough as they used to be. I think that's what the problem is. They get all cut up nowadays, it seems like. But I don't mind as long as I'm catching fish. The bites are few and far between, I tell you. It's got to get better. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I bet you I'll catch some on spinnerbait here in just a little bit. It's still pretty hot. The little breeze blowing makes it feel a little bit better. That craw there is just about had it. When you hear them talking about Texas-style rigging, and this is an old technique, goes back a long time. It was actually kind of discovered accidentally, where we use slip sinkers. I've used about almost a half a pack there, but I've caught a lot of fish. I mean, you catch a lot of fish on these. Get back in there, buddy. But here's what a Texas rig looks like. You got a bullet weight. That's what this bullet weight is. It's a slip weight, slides up and down. It was invented really because they thought that a bass grabbed a hold of a worm back here, worked his way up so that weight would slip away. We started using them on jig heads. You have to have a jig head there with a worm on it. Somebody thought, well, it would get a weight that'll slide. That weight will slide away so the fish doesn't feel it. Actually, they don't do that. They grab a hold of the head of it. So the advantage of having the slip weight, though, is when a fish jumps, this will fall away from him. He doesn't have that weight to help throw the hook. I use a Kale bend hook like this. You can use a J bend, whatever kind of hook you like. The key deal is you want to do is you don't want to hook that point of that hook too far into that crawl. I only run it in there about a 1/2 inch or so, come out like such. So you got it like that, and then you want to just kind of come around, take this little bend right here, that little Kale type bend right there, come around where you can have that down in the worm or out. I like it out a little bit better. It makes my worms last longer. You come over here then where the bend of that hook hits, which is right here, I put my thumb. Now then I'm gonna kind of scrunch that up a little bit and stick the hook through right there at just a little bit of an angle. Now a little bit of an angle allows that to be perfectly straight like that. Then I can come back and just move it up a little bit and put the point right back in. It's called skin hooks. That makes that weedless. You got a perfectly straight crawl. And that's a Texas rig. It's an old rig, a lot of new ways to fish a worm, but I gotta tell you, it's hard to beat a Texas rig. Still a great way to fish a plastic worm, particularly out here where we're fishing around a lot of grass, fishing around a lot of vegetation, things that's gonna get on the hook. If you had an open hook like a Ned rig or some other type rig there that shaky head, something like that, it'd be getting hung in the grass all the time. That slip sinker, because the bullet weight comes through that grass a lot better. Still get grass on your bait occasionally, but not nearly as bad. You see what I'm doing here? I get up here and I'm shaking that. When I feel like grass on there, I just shake that grass, it shakes the grass off. Fish sees that worm shaking there, and a lot of times that's when I get a bite. So I don't mind fishing down through the grass. Weights, I usually use I like a 1/4 ounce, or 3/8 or a 1/2. But in a grass, you want to move to a little bit smaller. That way it kind of doesn't get down in that grass very much. If you don't have grass, fishing around a lot of wood, a 1/2 ounce bait works great. 1/2 ounce lead, because it throws super good. It penetrates down through brush and stuff. But in the grass, it's a little bit too heavy, and it has a tendency to dig down in that grass a little bit more. So 1/4 ounce, 3/8 ounce is much better. I've got a 1/4 ounce on here. This is what I'm throwing in here, and kind of just dancing it through that grass. When I feel that grass, I'm just sort of dancing that crawl through there. A little crappie. I knew it wasn't very big when he hit. He sure got that big old crawl down his throat though, didn't he? Yeah. Oh, maybe it's a bass. Golly. I thought it was a bluegill. It's a bass. He basically hooked himself. Probably swallowed it. Set my spot lock down right here. Got that crappie and that bass or something here. Pretty nice bass. Golly. The evening bite has got to start sometimes. When I first got out of here, I caught them like crazy. It's a nice fish. I thought it was a bluegill. I might have been getting bass bites all along. I haven't been setting the hook, thinking they're bluegill. That's a nice fat fish. Come here, bugger. Spot lock. I'm going to hit another spot in a minute. I'm telling you, where there's going to be quite a few of them. I'm going to hit one of those spots here in a minute. I'm not catching any big ones, but that's pretty typical of summertime fishing. If you get lucky and catch a 5 or 6 pounder this time of the year, actually that's pretty good, because a lot of times you can fish for days and not catch a 5 or 6 pound fish. It's not like the springtime when you're gonna pretty much probably catch a big one or two every single day you go out. Yep, seem to be picking up a little bit. That might be a little better. All right, about the same. About the same. We'll take him though. We're on spot lock. God, he felt bigger than that. Oh. How deep do you have that guy, little rascal? Hold still. One of these in a minute's going to be bigger. I've gotten a little wad of them. Well, they pull like crazy when I first hook them and I get them in. They're not that big. This one's bigger though, Shirley. I said not to call me Shirley. He get hung on my power pole. How big are you, guy? He's strong. I'm talking about strong. That's a better fish. Oh yeah. Still not as big as he's pulling. Oh, come here, baby. He's hooked right in the top of the head. Perfect. That's a nice fish right there. Nothing wrong with that size. Oh, it's a little tiny one. He was in there with those good ones though, same spot. He better get out of there, they'll eat him. When they invited you over for dinner, guy, you don't know what they were talking about. They were inviting you over for dinner. Inviting you over for dinner. You'd be just about the right size meal for those last 2 or 3 bass that I've caught. Yes, you would. So many fishermen make the mistake of just keeping on fishing when they catch a fish, and there's time of the years where you can do that. I don't do it ever. I always try to, stop right there and make this exact same angle cast. And sometimes there's just 2 there, and the second one might be twice as big as the first one. But definitely when you get into the summertime, fish are ganged up, they're schooled up, they're together. So where you catch one, you want to definitely throw right back in that same spot. Golly. What is that, 4, 5, 6 casts in a row? I'm telling you, that's not a very big one. Not like those good ones I was catching. Not bad, but oh, he thinks he's a big one. They're strong, I'm telling you. There's some strong fish. Come here, guy. Come here, guy. I don't know how many fish is in that school, but we're working on them. There's another one hooked in the tongue. Doggone it. I hate it when that hook turns down there and hooks them right in the tongue. It comes out pretty easy, but if it ever starts bleeding, if it ever hits one of those veins, I don't think that one did. It hits one of those veins in their tongue, they bleed a lot, and they got to stop bleeding before they lose too much blood. They can lose a lot of blood and still live, though, just like we can, or any other fish or animal. I'm about to run out of these little package of worms. I've used 1 pack all day long, though. Well, of course, I didn't get out here till late. Can we make another cast in there and get another one, guys and girls? Let's see. Ha! Same spot. And the answer is no. It really drops off deep there. It drops down, 15, 20 feet probably. 18 feet. So it can fall a pretty good ways, although they haven't been hitting it very deep. Probably moving up a little shallower as it gets closer to evening time. I've been making basically the exact same cast every time. Bait is hitting within a foot of the exact same spot every time I throw it out there. Now, what I'll do is I'll move down to about 10 foot down and see what happens. Okay, guys and girls, I can't stand it any longer. You've seen me fish for several hours without a spinner bait. I have tied a Jimmy Houston Legend spinner bait on with round Colorado blade, tandem Colorado blades. And we're gonna fish this for about a little while, not long. I am burned up out here. I am burned up. The top of my head is burned. Oh, the top of my head is burned. You know why it's burned? Don't have enough hair up there. I need to get me some of them paste-ons like them girls use, or extensions. You know what I think a lot of these fish are doing up here right now late in the evening? They're coming in here working on those brim beds. They're coming up here eating some of those brim. Those brim are up there spawning. They're coming up there, they're spawning on this full moon. These bigger bass are coming up there eating those brim. That's a nice sized fish there too. I mean, those fish are shallow. Those fish are not but a couple of foot deep. The first one was out here by the boat. He was probably quite a bit deep. You know, he hit right on top of the water, but he was in deeper water. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. You little rascal. Get in this boat with me. Get in this boat with me. You wasn't the one I was looking for, but by golly, you'll do. By golly, you'll do.